Yeah. First of all, I was shocked.
Rachael Ray recently made yet another shocking confession. She admitted that she's afraid of negative rumors and petrified to go out in public. But why exactly is Rachael suffering from this crippling embarrassment? When did all this start? And is she okay? The U.S. Sun reported that Rachael's fans and followers were concerned for her health a few months ago. But Rachael didn't win over the haters by totally avoiding fan questions about her health. She even started filtering out comments on her social media. Rachael's new podcast is also getting some heat for all of the crazy confessions she's making. In one of her most recent episodes, Rachael had fellow chef Anne Burrell on and wanted to set Rachael straight on a couple of things. She also started lecturing on the podcast about dressing well in your day-to-day life and believes looking good on the outside makes you feel better on the inside. She said that it doesn't have to be expensive to send that message to others. The Sun reported that Rachael chimed in and agreed with Anne, but was she telling the truth? Shortly after Rachael agreed with Anne about making a little effort, she admitted that she was embarrassed. Rachael said that she was doing the podcast in a large t-shirt and sweater, making the excuse that it was cold in the studio. Another The Sun report dropped the bombshell that Rachael goes into crisis mode whenever she's around Anne. The Sun described Anne as Rachael's fashionable friend, enough to make Rachael embarrassed about her appearance as she confessed on her podcast. The Delish website told another side of the story. They reported that Rachael indirectly opened up about the rumors surrounding her health. Rachael asked Anne, "Do you ever think about the way people think about you?" Then Rachael told Anne, "I don't." But that's not entirely true either. Rachael admitted that she's afraid of seeing or hearing anything negative about herself in print or on social media. Did Rachael instantly regret saying that? She tried to bury her confession by telling a joke. She set it up by mentioning a vicious website called I Hate Rachael Ray. Rachael said that it had been active for years. Rachael joked to Anne that she used to think that at least her haters were watching her multiple cooking shows. She even claimed that she loved the idea of internet trolls watching her every day. But it sounds like something finally snapped for Rachael. On November 27th, The Sun called her a shy chef who's become petrified and nervous in public. The day before, author Harlan Coben was Rachael's podcast guest, and Rachael dropped a truth bomb about one of her most intense fears. Apparently, Rachael gets really scared to attend Christmas parties or other events because she thinks she's not good at it. Rachael explained that she prefers to do things she knows she will succeed at. She feels unsuccessful at parties or public events and just gets nervous. That sounds unbelievable since Rachael always looks so comfortable in the kitchen, cooking in front of millions of people watching her TV shows. Harlan revealed that he introduced himself to Rachael at a party, and Rachael remembered how she felt that night. She admitted that she was standing next to the wall and feeling petrified. Rachael never hinted at this fear before. Is that why she's staying tight-lipped about her health concerns? In October, Rachael admitted on her podcast that she's had a couple of bad falls recently, but she never confirmed why she seemed to be slurring in a clip of her show, Rachael Ray in Tuscany, back in September. The Sun reported more bad news for Rachael in an exclusive on November 23rd. They were following the ratings for Rachael's podcast, and The Sun wrote that it had not ranked in the top 250 of all Apple podcasts, according to Chartable. Rachael did manage to crack the top 100s in the arts category of Apple Podcast. Her podcast ranked in the 95th spot as of November 22nd, and Rachael faces tough competition amongst well-known chefs. The top-ranking podcast featuring celebrity chefs is The Recipe with Kenji and Deb, co-hosted by Deb Perelman and J. Kenji Lopez Alt, which placed in the 13th spot. Ina Garten also has a podcast, Ina Garten's Be My Guest, which placed 22nd. If Rachael's podcast isn't as successful as she'd hope, why isn't that making her even more petrified? On November 19th, Rachael's podcast featured her close friend, actor Jeremy Sisto, who stars on the hit TV show FBI. Rachael admitted that it's weird for her to be in the public eye because she's always found it very hard to be noticed. She explained to Jeremy that she's been working in kitchens since she was 12. Rachael always felt confident and successful when she learned something or contributed in some way. Rachael has also been open about her marriage struggles at various times on her podcast. How does her husband, John Cusimano, feel whenever Rachael drops these truth bombs on anyone listening to an episode? Jeremy and John were practicing music together before Jeremy was on the podcast. That's when Rachael revealed how heartbroken John was over his career failure. John worked as an entertainment lawyer when he met Rachael decades ago, but that wasn't his professional dream. Rachael spilled the tea to Jeremy about how much John regretted not becoming an A-list rock star. She added that John wanted to go to Berkeley, the famous music college. John really believed that he could be the next Trent Reznor from 9 9-inch nails. Rachael said that John still considers himself to be a working musician. He sung lead vocals and played guitar in his band, The Cringe, for years. Rachael also spilled the tea about private conversations with John when he was on the road touring with one band or another. Rachael said that John would call her and say, "I just wish I was the headliner." Why would Rachael admit that? Is John's so-called career failure also embarrassing for her? Despite her alleged health concerns and private fears, The Sun reported that Rachael's cooking empire is worth over $100 million. It's good that Rachael loves working so much because she made a fortune on many television appearances, brand partnerships, cookbooks, and cookware ranges. In an exclusive report, The Sun wrote that Rachael isn't slowing down. She recently filed several trademarks to expand her cooking empire by launching a new pizza-related business, and Rachael is also back in front of the camera. On December 8th, TV Insider reported that Rachael's new cooking show had debuted despite concerns for her health. Rachael already has 2 shows on the FYI network, including her Tuscany film show and Rachael Ray's Meals in Minutes. Her new TV show is on A&E. It's called Rachael Ray's Holidays, and she's putting a lot on her plate. An A&E press release gushed about how Rachael loves to cook and entertain, particularly during the holiday season. Each episode of her holiday show will be 30 minutes long, and she'll share some of her favorite holiday dishes in the kitchen. A&E decided to make viewers hungry with a teaser that Rachael has every type of holiday recipe covered for any type of gathering and celebration. Her favorite dishes include chestnut and sausage stuffing, roasted garlic and rosemary prime rib, beef and chorizo chili with queso, and holiday lasagna. In the press release, Rachael stated that cooking and entertaining are central parts of her life, and during the holidays, cooking and entertaining become especially significant for Rachael, her family, and many others. Considering how scared Rachael gets in public, it's amazing that she said in the press release how excited she is to invite audiences into her home. But Rachael will be inviting viewers into other homes too. A&E is also broadcasting another TV show called Rachael Ray's Rebuild. This series is about Rachael and her team helping disaster-impacted families get back on their feet by rebuilding homes and properties. Rachael loves to work, but hopefully all of this work isn't too much for her. Anyway, what do you guys think about all this? What do you think about Rachael's fears of parties and public events? Have you listened to her podcast? Do you think it will continue? Let me know in the comments below.